Hello everyone, this is part 5 video on past year NEET questions from the topic S block elements. Now those who are looking at it can probably take a look at the previous 4 part videos also, so that you will have the continuity. Let's start with the question that has come in the year 1995. Identify the correct statement. If we just take a look at the 4 options, right? I mean, of course, these kind of questions we have to go through all the 4 options, then only we will be able to arrive at the correct answer. Okay, so they are talking about essentially the plaster of Paris and gypsum relation. So what are these things? First, before we even answer this question, let's look at what is plaster of Paris. What is plaster of Paris? CaS4 dot half H2O. This is plaster of Paris. What is gypsum? CaSO4 dot 2H2O. This is gypsum. Okay, and this is plaster of Paris. So look at option A. What is option A saying? Plaster of Paris can be obtained by the hydration of gypsum. No, already gypsum is having 2 water molecules. Plaster of Paris is having only half water molecule. So plaster of Paris cannot be obtained by the hydration of gypsum. In fact, gypsum can be obtained by the hydration of plaster of Paris. Okay. Option B is saying what? Plaster of Paris is obtained by the partial oxidation of gypsum. No, here it is not a concept of oxidation. Option C is saying what? Gypsum contains a lower percentage of calcium than plaster of Paris. So if you look at the difference between these 2 molecules, right? Gypsum has got 2 water molecules. Plaster of Paris has got only half water molecule. Means in gypsum, since the water content is more, the calcium content will be less. So gypsum contains lower percentage of calcium than plaster of Paris. Why? Because in gypsum the water content is actually more. So water content more means calcium percentage will be less if you look at the mass percentage. So the correct answer, they are asking for the correct answer, right? What will be the correct answer? It is option C. We can look at option D also. What is option D? Gypsum is obtained by the heating of plaster of Paris. In fact, by heating gypsum we can obtain plaster of Paris. Okay, and if we fully heat it means we will get simply, so if you take the CaSO4 dot 2H2O, by heating we can lose water molecules. If we fully heat it means we will get just CaSO4, which is what we call as the dead burnt plaster. Okay, so gypsum, we cannot obtain gypsum by heating plaster of Paris. So this is also not correct. So what is the correct answer? It is option C. Next we have a straight theoretical question. This is a question that has come in the year 1994. Which of the following is known as the fusion mixture? Now for the analysis of the elements, right? So we will take a mixture of potassium carbonate and sodium carbonate to form a fusion of a particular substance. So generally when we talk about the determination of these elements, right, like in the organic chemistry or in the qualitative analysis, we'll talk about this fusion mixture, sodium extract, etc. So in that fusion mixture is basically what? It's a mixture of potassium carbonate and then sodium carbonate. Okay. Next we have a question that has come in the year 1994. All the following substances react with water. The pair that gives the same gaseous product is. So we have to look at the pair that will be giving us the same gaseous product. So this question we can answer if we are aware of the reactions. So we should go through the NCERT level reactions in both S block as well as the other inorganic chemistry chapters. Thoroughly we have to go through the NCERT questions. Okay, so if you look at these reactions, right, starting with option A. What is option A? Potassium and KO2. KO2 is superoxide. So potassium on reacting the water gives hydrogen gas. Superoxide on reacting the water with gives oxygen. So it is not giving the same gaseous product. If it comes to sodium, so we have sodium and Na2O2 is what? It is sodium peroxide. So sodium on reacting the water gives H2 gas. Okay, whereas sodium peroxide, it will not give any gas. It will give hydrogen peroxide. When sodium peroxide is dissolved in water, it will give sodium hydroxide and hydrogen peroxide. It will not give any, so no gas in this case. Okay, so whereas if you go to calcium dissolving in water gives hydrogen gas. Calcium hydride, CH2 is what? Calcium hydride. Calcium hydride also on dissolving in water gives hydrogen gas. So the one that will give. So we can see what is the one that will give. It is the one that is giving in both cases the same gaseous product, which is the calcium and calcium hydride. The last option is what? Barium and BaO2. BaO2 is barium peroxide. Barium, when dissolved in water, it will give hydrogen. Barium peroxide means it will not give any gas, just like the sodium peroxide case. No gas here, you will get hydrogen peroxide. So what is the correct answer for this? Option C, where we will get the hydrogen gas in both the cases with calcium and calcium hydride. Okay. Next we have a question that has come in the year 1994. Among the following oxides, the one which is most basic. So if you look at these oxides, right, N2O5 is in fact acidic. It's a highly acidic oxide, nitrogen. Oxides of nitrogen or what, as we look at oxides of nitrogen, N2O is neutral, but as the oxygen content is increasing, the acidic nature will also be increasing. So N2O5 is a highly acidic oxide of nitrogen, whereas zinc oxide and aluminum oxide are what? Amphoteric. So we have seen now they will react with both acids as well as bases. The one that is most basic will be what? Just magnesium oxide. So what is the correct answer for this? Magnesium oxide. Next we have another question that has come in the year 1994. Which of the following metal ions play an important role in the muscle contraction? So we've been talking about the role of alkali metals as well as alkaline earth metals. So in alkaline earth metals, one of the important elements that will play a role in the biological phenomena is calcium. So in alkali metals we have both sodium also will play a role in the biological phenomena as well as potassium. So even I think some of the questions have come in the previous years on the role of sodium and potassium. But yeah, talking about the muscle contraction, right, calcium is the one that will play a role in the muscle contraction. So in the presence of these calcium ions, right, and the energy from ATP, the two actin and myosin, they will form actomycin. So actomycin will be facilitating or causing the contraction of muscles. So what is the element that will play a role in the contraction of muscles? It is calcium ions. That's the metal ions that will play a role in the contraction of the muscles. Next we have another question that has come in the year 1994. Which of the following statement is false? So we are looking at the false statement or the wrong statement. Okay, so we have to go through each of these options, then only we can answer this question. Look at option A. Strontium decomposes water readily than beryllium. See, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium. As we go down the group, the reactivity of the metals will be increasing, right? Means strontium will be able to react more readily with water. Means this is correct. Second option is what? Barium carbonate melts at higher temperature than calcium carbonate. Again, carbonate ion is a large anion. So here the melting concept, right, will depend upon the lattice energy. The melting concept will be depending upon the lattice energy. Or we can also look at it in terms of the ionic nature. We can either look at it in terms of the lattice energy or the ionic nature. So as we go from the beryllium to barium, so below strontium comes barium, right? As we go down the group, the size of the cations will be what? Increasing. Means all of them have the same anion, carbonate ion. The ionic nature of the carbonates will be what? Ionic nature of carbonates, it will be increases down the group. So means as we go down the group, the carbonates will become more and more ionic. As a result of it, what is going to happen? Their melting points will be increasing, right? So definitely barium carbonate will be melting at a high temperature than calcium carbonate. Okay, so because barium will be below and calcium will be above. So this is the order of the elements. Next, option C is saying what? The barium hydroxide is more soluble in water than magnesium hydroxide. So if you look at the elements order, again same thing. So magnesium, then comes calcium, then comes strontium, then comes barium. As we go down the group, right, so what will happen is hydroxides here. Here the case is about the hydroxides. So hydroxides, the OH minus ions are small anions. So as we go down the group, one thing that will happen is the size of the cations is increasing. Small anion, if it's a small cation like magnesium, means the lattice energy will be high. They will be able to efficiently pack in the lattice system. But as the cation is becoming large, what is going to happen? The size difference will be coming between the anion and the cation. Here the anion is small anion, large cation means what? They cannot fit efficiently in the lattice. So the lattice energy will be what? It will be decreasing down the group. Okay, solubility will not only depend upon the lattice energy, it also depends upon the hydration energy. So hydration, because magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, all of them, they will have the same charge, 2 units positive charge. Magnesium is what? Small ion. So small ion charge density will be what? Higher. So this concept we have discussed in many other questions also. Magnesium will have high charge density. As a result, the magnesium will be what? Highly hydrated. So magnesium will be highly hydrated, and as we go down, hydration will be decreasing. So as you go down, what is happening? The hydration energy also decreases. But the thing is, the lattice energy will be decreasing more rapidly than the hydration energy. So in case of the hydroxides, the lattice energy decreases, hydration energy also decreases, but lattice energy will be decreasing more rapidly. So as a result, what happens? The solubility part of it will be keep on increasing as we go down the group. So barium hydroxide is more soluble than the magnesium hydroxide. That is also correct. Look at option D. Beryllium hydroxide is more basic than barium hydroxide. So if you look at the hydroxides, right? So the basic nature of the hydroxides, since the metals will increase their metallic nature as you go down the group, the basic nature also will be increasing, right? Means what? Barium hydroxide will be more basic. So barium hydroxide will be more basic than the beryllium hydroxide. But what is option D saying? Option D is saying that beryllium hydroxide is more basic than barium hydroxide. So this is the one that is incorrect. So what is the one that is incorrect? It is option D. So option D is the incorrect one. Okay, let's go to the next question. This is a question that has come in the 1993. Which one of the following has a minimum value of cation to anion ratio? So if you look at these the compounds, right, there are two anions, so F minus and Cl minus. Which is larger? This is the larger. Okay, and what about the cations? We have sodium, potassium, and magnesium and calcium. So if you look at it, right, we have to go for what is the minimum value of the cation to anion ratio. Means cation should be small and anion should be what? Large. So first let's pick the anion. Large anion means what? It must be chlorine. Okay, now the cations, among these cations, right, we have to identify which will be the smallest. Okay, so we have to identify which will be the smallest of the cations. So if you think about the size, as you go down the group, size will be increasing. As you go to any group, size will be what? Increasing. Means if you compare the sodium potassium, sodium will be smaller because we are looking for the small cation. If you compare magnesium calcium, magnesium will be smaller. Okay, so now the question is about between these two which will be the small. Between these two which will be the small, because both sodium is having chlorine compound given in option A and magnesium is also having chlorine compound, that is option C. Between sodium and magnesium, right, as you go from left to right in any period, size will be what? Size decreases. Size of the cation also will be decreasing, because if you look at Na plus and Mg2 plus, right, they are what? They are isoelectronic species. For isoelectronic species, the Z value for sodium will be 11, Z value for magnesium will be 12, the nuclear power. So when the nuclear power is more, means size will be less for all the isoelectronic species. So magnesium 2 plus will have a lesser size. So we must have magnesium 2 plus as the cation and chloride ions are what? Anions. That is when we will have the minimum value for the cation to anion ratio. So what is the correct answer for this? It is option C. So whenever we have questions like this, right, we have to do this analysis. We have to look at what are the anions and what are the cations and how we can fill them into the particular ratio. Next we have a question that has come in the year 1993. Which of the following has largest size? So if you look at this, right, what are the options? they are talking about sodium, sodium plus and sodium minus. See, whenever we compare an element with its cation, cation means what? Losing electrons. So always the cations will be lesser in size than the respective atom of the element. And anions, because it is gaining electron, right? Because of the incoming electron repulsions will happen. So anion size will be what? Always more than the respective atom. So cation size for any atom, right? We remove electron means size will decrease. We add electron means size will be increasing. So they are asking which of them will be having the largest size. So between Na plus, Na and Na minus, right? Which will be having the largest size? It will be Na minus. Next we have a question that has come in the year 1993. Which compound will show highest lattice energy? So here it's a question of the lattice energy. So lattice energy, if you look at the anion part, all of them are having the same anion, F minus anion, which is a small anion. Small anion will be able to fit itself efficiently in a lattice with small cation. So if we have a small cation, then the packing will be efficient, and that is going to give us a better efficient packing, and hence lattice energy will be high. So for small anions, the cation should be small. For large anions, the cations also should be large. Here if you look at the given cations, right, sodium, then potassium, then rubidium and cesium. As we go down the group, what is going to happen? The size of cations will increase. So which means, which is the smallest cation? The Na plus will be the smallest cation, and that can actually give us very efficient packing with the small anion F minus. So in this case NaF, because we have a small cation, that will be able to pack efficiently with the small anion, right? So this will have the highest lattice energy. On the other hand, the cesium fluoride will be having the lowest lattice energy. Cesium fluoride will be having the lowest lattice energy. Okay. So the correct answer for this is what? NaF. NaF will be having the highest lattice energy. So this is about this particular part video, and we will see in the next part.